There's no universally accepted definition of what is radical or extremism.
Yes.
So it means that for one person, something is radical, and for the other one, it wouldn't be. And the same goes for a more state-centered point of view, where some country might find some ideas radical, and it won't be the same in another country.
Our guest today is Ms. Vicky Laprade, a research advisor at the Center of Prevention of Radicalization Leading to Violence. Today, she will identify to us the role of the center, define some key concepts related to the topic of radicalization that leads to violence. It's a very important topic, and I hope this conversation enriches you as much as it has enriched my knowledge as well. Ms. Vicky, the Center for the Prevention of Radicalization, how can you present the center or the role of the center and what distinguishes it from other similar centers as well here in Montreal?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. About the CPRLV, it's a nonprofit organization founded in 2015 by the City of Montreal with the support of the government of Quebec. So we are strategically and operationally independent. We have a provincial mandate, so basically we offer services free of charge all across Quebec. And as our name states, we aim to prevent radicalization leading to violence by supporting the community and individuals who are radicalized or undergoing a process of radicalization, as well as professional, field worker, family, friends. Basically, anyone who asks, we're there for them. Regarding what... over the time, the centers evolved to also extend this mandate. So now we also do the prevention of hate-motivated act. And since last year, we also have an helpline for armed violence. And what distinguishes us? Well, I think it is first and foremost our approach, which goes... it goes beyond of the more traditional security or health framework that we usually found in this field, in the sense that what we do is promote other ways to respond to radicalization leading to violence than than through the police or the justice systems. So we also have a comprehensive approach that mobilizes the whole of society. We combine research, mobilization, education, and of course, community support.
Sorry, Ms. Vicky, as you said, your services go beyond the community itself, and you also have research services as well. May I ask for the center, for the CPRLV, what is the radicalization that leads to violence? How do you identify it?
Well,
or how do you define it?
I said that first of all, it is not our role to say what is radical and what is not radical. And as you surely know, there's no universally accepted definition of what is radical or extremism. So it means that for one person, something is radical, and for the other one, it wouldn't be. And the same goes for a more state-centered point of view, where some country might find some ideas radical, and it won't be the same in another country. So for us, when we talk about radicalization leading to violence, we are looking at a process whereby people adopt extremist belief systems and are willing to either encourage, use, or legitimize violence in order to achieve their means. So either this means is a political project or ideology or societal changes, anything like that. And we observe that this is often through an highly polarized vision where there is an us and a them. The them becomes the enemy.
Yes.
Of course. And when sometimes this leads to dehumanization as well. So this being this can be because a person feel, and I stress here, it's a feeling, misunderstood, or the person doesn't have a place in society or feels stigmatized. So we consider that the radical idea becomes a problem when there's a use of violence or the wish to use violence.
whenever it leads to the use of violence.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Ms. Laprade, extremism may take diverse forms depending on the context and time and periods as well, and may be associated with different causes and ideologies, as you mentioned. What are the most important causes or dimensions of extremism?
Well, we don't consider one causes or one dimension to be more important than another. But you're right, the nature of extremism keep changing and evolving. So historically, extremism has been classified in categories that are rather fixed or yet very broad, like extreme left, extreme right.
Oh yes, on your website you said it's multidimensional.
Yes.
Okay.
But we'll come back to that, I think.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I apologize. I'm too hasty.
No, don't worry. So, well, when we, sorry, I lost my thoughts, but yeah, so it's classified in rather fixed categories, but what we try to do is think of these categories as not exclusives. And so far, there's cross-cutting ideologies that can be found in various extremism movements, like misogynist ideas or conspirational theories. So at the center, we're seeking to fill in this blind spot through a new approach that is still under construction that we call ideological dimension of extremisms. So at the heart of this analysis, there are 5 dimensions that allow us to consider the diversity of ideological motivation, claims, discourses within extremism movements. So this dimension helps us to explore the nuances, the interconnection also between the different facets of extremisms, and whether there are links to economics or religious, ethno-nationalisms, gender, sexuality, authority, etc.
Oh, so it has many links and many...
Yes, exactly. We can find an ideology in one movement and find something similar in another one. So we're trying to understand how those ideology might be connected or can influence one another. Also, as I briefly mentioned, well, I didn't mention actually, we're working on the vulnerability and protective factors. So I also think we're going to talk about this a bit later.
Sure.
But in short, we do not rank extremisms or its causes in order of importance, as they are constantly changing and evolving. But some issues are more topical than others, of course. So, for example, during the pandemic, conspiracy belief were very much in evidence. In the last years, we worked a lot on anti-gender movements, and more recently, we are preoccupied by the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and we keep an eye on all of those situations.
Oh yeah, sure. I apologize, but if I may ask you, if I saw radicalization, how do you think I should respond? Or if you have an advice for me to respond to what I saw? Yes.
So what we observe is that there's some posture that can help. So we observe that keeping in touch, establishing conversations, establishing a link, trying to understand the needs and the posture of the other person, having an open mind and with empathy.
And creating a safe space.
Yes, for the person. That's a key thing to do. But this is sometimes difficult for the other person. So, of course, when you do this, you do it in the respect of your own limits. And you can always reach out to professional, contact us, and we will offer supports to either, as I said, the person undergoing radicalization or family, friends. But it's always on a voluntary basis, so we support those who called us.
And if I may ask, what are the types of sorry, I apologize. What are the type of preventive actions employed by the CPRLV?
Just for curious, you skipped one question. Did you want to do it? Or?
Oh, yes. I'll go back to it later on.
Okay. So, sorry, repeat your question. Pedagogical?
What are the types of preemptive actions employed by the center?
Okay, the preventive action. Well, We have a preventing campaign, and we do action research to keep an eye on what's going on, as I said. We have a lot of pedagogical content. So we offer notably confidential and voluntary community support to help users disengage from violence by strengthening their sense of autonomy and empowerment in the face of polarizing and confronting subject. So in this sense, community support, it neither demands people to change their minds. We don't want to transform their point of view. We really want to accompany them according to their needs.
Yes.
And this service is also aimed, as I said, at professional workers, family, friends, etc. So this is the main, I'd say, preventive action we're doing. But we also have support group. We're doing workshop, training. We have a lot of different areas where we're active because we are active in all levels. So prevention, primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention as well.
So I know from what I heard, I believe in your center, you use a holistic approach from workshops and preemptive actions as well, which is a noble thing to do as well on a touchy subject as radicalization, which leads to violence. Now to the question that I wanted to miss, or I wanted to delay at least, on your website, on the CPRLV's website, you say radicalization leading to violence is a complex, multidimensional process. Could you please explain that to us?
Yes, it means that we don't consider that there is a typical path or a typical profile for radicalization. The process is a multidimensional and non-linear one, and every path is unique, just like the person who is undergoing it. So all these dimensions need to be taken into account to respond to it. So the CPRLV does not have a one size fits all approach.
One size fits all, yes.
So as I briefly mentioned about the factors, we worked with vulnerability and protective factors, both individuals and collective, social and psychological, as well as external and internal. So radicalization leading to violence is really, a sudden or abrupt change, but rather a complex social process that can unfold on several levels. The service for the community service will investigate every sphere of life, asking, for example, if the person has strong ties with his family or friends. Is the person going perhaps in a more difficult time, like a separation or grief? Does the person have hobbies that she or he likes? So, or is there any international event that can affect them? So we're just going to look at every sphere of life to understand how the radicalization leading to violence is unfolding.
And every pattern is unique, as you said. Yes. There is no one size fits all or one answer for every question.
No, exactly. That's why we need to take into account every dimensions.
One question as well, Ms. Laprade, on this enjoyable conversation that I'm actually learning a lot from you. What are the CPRLVs, pedagogical
that's an hard word.
It's a very hard word, I apologize. Pedagogical content and training sessions that the center offers for both professionals and interested citizens.
Yes, well, we have a wide selection of educational tools for anyone interested or affected by the issue of radicalization leading to violence, but as well as hate motivated act. Firstly, our public webinar are an excellent way to learn more about that subject.
Oh, public webinar.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
So we have a range of teams that are aboard. Sorry, I will take that back. We have a large. There's many teams discussed during those webinar. It can be very specific, like the rise of the far right, to some things more general, like understanding radicalization. And we also offer training for professionals in all fields who wishes to address these issues. Anyone who contacts us, we can also organize a training session the CPRLV based on their needs and what they want to know. Either it's virtually or in person, and as I said, when it's in Quebec, all our services are free of charge, so we're just going everywhere. And sorry, just need a moment.
No, of course, take your time.
Because this is not my area of experience.
No,
my colleagues wrote to me.
Yeah, of course, we appreciate every piece of information you tell us as well, Ms. Laprade.
Okay, so yes, and our approach to education at the CPRLV is really focused on understanding and responding to the needs, as I said, of all of those who contact us to find more about different issues. So we can create courses, workshop on demand, and one of our most popular courses is Hexagon. This course is designed for professionals who want to learn about our Hexagon analysis tool, which has been developed with in collaboration with the Romeo Dallaire Child Soldier Initiative and the CPRLV, of course.
Yeah.
So it's a training for professionals who want to learn how to use it to understand better radicalization leading to violence. And since the pandemic, we also considerably expanded our range of virtual training courses. We have, of course, our webinar, as I said, but we also have we also have free asynchronous training course for the general public. So this training explores general issues complementary to general issues related to radicalization leading to violence and hate-motivated act. So you can do it on your own pace and stop and go back later. Finally, we also offer a number of workshops for young people in schools. These workshops aim at 12 to 17 years old. And they have the advantage of offering young people a forum for discussion on sometimes difficult and sensitive subjects. So we help them to navigate those discussions. And it is also a way to support and accompany the teachers or the professional working in schools.
No, that's a very touching, holistic approach. And of course, in the end, right now, Ms. Vicky Laprade, I just would like to thank you for attending with us this podcast today and define to us the role and the many projects that the Center for the Prevention of Violence, or the Prevention of Radicalization that leads to violence, and explaining to us your important role in the Society of Montreal and also hopefully in the areas that we hope to cooperate with you as well. And I would like to thank you for enriching this conversation and enriching myself as well with the role of the center. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for having me again, and looking forward for our future partnership.
Inshallah, hopefully.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Vicky.